Hello, guys. It's Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with another beautiful, lovely. Sometimes she will make me a sandwich. Wife of mine, light of my life, mother of my child, Yanzi.
Hello.
And today is a day we're talking about X-Men producer and lead writer having a meltdown, total meltdown over the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. So here we go. So this came our way from Data Racer. So obviously this is a bunch of tweets over different timelines. Some in the past we're going to talk about, but a lot of it's recent. With the verdict of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. So what do we got here, Yanzi?
Lead writer and producer of the X-Men reboot on Disney Plus is having a meltdown about Kyle Rittenhouse. It seems like half the world is having a meltdown about Kyle Rittenhouse, but I like to say it's half the Western world, half of the United States maybe. The rest of the world doesn't really seem to care. Anyway, this is the writer Charley Feldman. She calls him a racist white supremacist. And let's have a look at some of the tweets here because it's a very charged situation today.
Isn't he?
The
Wait,
cynic
but hang on. About Kyle, isn't he? For people that don't know, go Google it. But he was cleared of any, what was it, manslaughter charges or intentional?
every single charge they threw at him, they
Right.
found him not guilty.
But isn't he like half Hispanic or something? Am I wrong?
Yes, but don't you know, Hispanics can be conveniently white when it suits their agenda, just like how I'm conveniently white when it suits other people's agenda. I mean, I'm obviously Chinese and 100% Chinese at that, but they're gonna call me white when it suits them.
Right.
So let's look at all these tweets. Well, not all these tweets, but some of them here. The cynical inevitability of the Rittenhouse verdict doesn't take out the pain of what the status quo racist bullshit represents, the terror it instills, and the lethality it codifies.
Mm.
Kyle Rittenhouse is a bleeping murderer. Beep white supremacy.
So,
So
uh, this is what bothers me is like with this right off the bat is a lot of SJWs especially they just want to throw around the coding the wrapper of racist and white supremacist and things, and then notice she leads with it and then ends with it. So everything in between is debatable what side of the aisle you were on that case, but she's wrapping it in a racist sandwich, you know, and whatever is actual the substance is in between, and this is something SJWs do a lot. The interesting thing is with the X-Men thing, and for people, we talk about it on this channel, comic news, pop culture, and all this stuff. Please look down below, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. But the interesting thing here is like basically Marvel's, this is probably their first real jab at X-Men, and that's a solid jab since they acquired Fox. And to have somebody so vocal right now and calling people ist and racist and things like this, you have to understand like there's probably a lot of Disney Plus subscribers that they were happy with the verdict of the case, and here's a person just putting on blast whether they're X-Men fans, Disney Plus fans, whatever, and you're just totally calling them ist and phobes and everything else. But anyways, let's go.
let me offer a perspective, you see. For me, it's more like, all right, so you have all these people who are these fans of this cartoon series, and you're gonna just, out right there and say, oh, beep white supremacy, and constantly confused. But didn't the people involved in the Covering House cases, the people that were killed or injured, when they all were like Caucasians, when they all like white people? So what's the white supremacy exactly? Is basically white on white crime at this point, if you want to call it that, right?
Well, I mean, they're trying to paint that narrative, and it's kind of like a thing that we see on the Twitter side of things more so than not. Is if they say it over and over and over again, it must be true eventually, because you're
Okay.
drowning out, like you're putting out. It's like casting a wide net, I guess, or that they're just polluting the timeline. This with ist and phobes that they must, if so many people are saying it, must be true. And the thing with Twitter is a lot of this gets retweets whether people are investigating, like whether it's true, false, or in between. It's just it goes viral. What is that ratio on Twitter, that most of the Twitter is made up by what, a certain
I think
percent?
like 25% is responsible for like over 90% of the content, something like that. So, the louder you are, obviously, the more it just echoes around the place.
Right.
So let's look at this. For people who are saying, oh, maybe it's just an emotionally charged thing that Charlie is feeling right now because of the Rittenhouse verdict. Well, let's look at this tweet that was all the way back in 2012. It's to a point where every time I pass a 20 something lone white male, I feel the need to ask them to please not shoot people, just in case. I, as a white female, Charlie Feldman, when I see a lone white male, all I can think of is the fact that they're going to gun down people. That's pretty much what she's saying.
And
Nice.
what's interesting here is half the cast, if not, I don't know, 3/4 of the cast of the X-Men cartoon that they're working on are cis white males. Cyclops, Wolverine, Beast, if you're gonna count Gambit.
I gotta stop
Professor
you
X.
right there because isn't Cyclops and Wolverine in a weird polyamorous relationship with involving Jean Grey right now? So maybe they're not cis white males anymore. Exactly.
And again, that's another thing they're talking about. They're talking about having more adult themes in this retro cartoon that was geared towards teens. So they're obviously trying to go with an aging demographic, and I suspect there'll be some things out of place, some things moving furniture around to what Disney sees X-Men should be. Should it be X women? Should it be whatever? We'll see. Time will tell.
But see, maybe her politics are not that important to the X-Men thing. Maybe she really is a huge fan of X-Men. Maybe. Eh. So let's look at this is what I would like to call a Kevin Smith situation. There's this tweet here that was on the 12th of November this year, where Charlie Feldman says, X-Men the animated series was my Saturday. I was not a kid who woke up early, but this show shot me out of bed to see what happened after to be continued. So I could swoon over Rogue and marvel at the storytelling. I still believe it is a definitive X-Men adaptation. And here's a tweet from, well, almost exactly a year ago, from 18 November 2020. They were asked, what were your top three favorite cartoons growing up? And Charlie says, The Simpsons, Batman, Gargoyles, Animaniacs. I can only
Not
do
X-Men.
three. It hurts too much. Honorable mentions X-Men. So she couldn't only do three, but she couldn't even squeeze X-Men in there. Yeah, so it's like nice. It's one of those, you got caught in a lie. So try not to wiggle out of it, but whatever. And of course, you must, as a white person, you must virtue signal, especially if you don't want people to start, demanding for your head and say, hey, give me your job
Mm.
instead. So she talks about how she's a staff writer in animation. And while she can't read scripts right now, she wants to make that available if someone who isn't white, cis, het is interested in. So yeah, I'll read your script and critique you only if you're not white, het, or cis. So
Oh,
yeah, that's I don't know
what?
what about you, but that's from where I come from. That's called discrimination.
Yes, kind of like discrimination against mutants. My honestly, the more I read about this and the more that's coming out about the people that's working on this show, I feel like it's all going to be about mutant shapeshifters and if they're gender fluid. I swear, I really don't see where this show is going to go. It's probably all going to be like shapeshifters.
I have a feeling that they know where it's gonna go. By the way, Charlie Feldman uses they them pronouns. So
Of
after all
course.
these tweets became public, is yeah, protected tweets.
And honestly, the best thing I think Disney could do is address this right away and actually hold these people accountable for these type of tweets. I've said before.
Actually, let me stop you right there. Remember Ariel? That person who does the High Republic show? Also, called out a lot of white people and talking about white supremacy, blah blah blah. As last time I checked, she's still hosting the show. So I think Disney has this weird pattern of just hiring people who denounce white supremacy.
Is
It's
this
like
Yeah, but is this
white
the
people are
thing?
bad.
Is this the actual job resume? Your Twitter and calling people ist and phobes? Is this what gets you these jobs? I don't know. And this is so to me, and you're going to say Shane, if they do it with Star Wars, they'll do it with anything. But you don't understand. X-Men as a property has been dead as a doornail. And the fact that they're even having to go to a retro cartoon because they don't know what to do with X-Men. Period. I mean, and keep in mind the only reason they have X-Men and is because they bought Fox altogether. Fox at least cared about X-Men more so than Disney does with what they've been doing with the comics. And in fact, they're going to go back to this retro cartoon, and the people I'm seeing hired, it's very suspect.
With all these wonderful hints of the people behind this X-Men reboot, sequel, whatever you want to call it exactly, all I can say is that my expectations for it are pretty low. And I do actually remember watching it and liking it as a child. So I don't think we will be, picking up a Disney Plus subscription anytime soon. We did
Right.
cancel it after the whole Gina Carano fiasco. So
Right. May pick it
yeah,
up for the Book of Boba Fett, but not really sure. And that's the thing about and Disney Plus is like it's you can kind of come and go with it. So like if they lay a turd like this, you can easily cancel it and pick it back up whenever the thing you're interested comes back on. That's why I'm surprised they don't handle this type of behavior, because like it's so easy for somebody to cancel a subscription. There's not really a penalty. So it's not like they have a reward system for old people. Your subscription does go up. It's not like you're grandfathered in at a certain first day supporter price or something like that. So to me, I would think Disney would eventually address this, that you can't really just talk about a certain a certain political party or certain people that believe in the right to bear arms or something like that, because they may be paying customers. They may be people that actually buy X-Men t-shirts or would buy Disney Plus, and oftentimes, conservative Christian type people really do subscribe to Disney as a type of entertainment for their children. And it's so weird to watch it go the way it is today. And to be honest, it's bonkers to see that Disney even has X-Men, much less the Marvel Universe and all of this other stuff. I'm surprised they're even going back to this cartoon. Like, to be honest, I think it's a real tell sign that the last time X-Men's ever been really relevant is back in the 90s. And this is the only thing they know to do with it. But on that note, if you guys will, please look at Inglorious Rex. We are getting ready to hit a whopping $238,000 on this massive campaign. And I will leave you guys for a trailer for Inglorious Rex.
I'm show the whole world who I am. Boom, boom, boom. Major look, huh? Yeah, this one is for the books. All these chances I took still, I move straight on these rooks now. Hold me up or hold me down, have my back or hold my crown. Either you with me or not, but you better give all you got, cause I break the game. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chain.